Good morning. Hi, Intro to Gero. Hope you guys are well. Sharing this information with you guys on household structure and living arrangements for the elderly. Hate we can't be in class, but I hope you get this video. I'm trying to figure out where to focus my camera, so if my eyes seem off, it's because of the thing that I'm on. And I'm trying to get it. So let's talk about household structure and living arrangements. Chapter 9. Household structure. When aging parents become ill or disabled, they move near their children, and we've learned that that's essential to who we are or what's going on within aging. We know once we get older, a person or an individual can't necessarily take care of themselves, and if they can't take care of themselves, then we have to put them in a position to be able to be cared for. Thus, hold on, y'all. I'm flipping my camera around. Y'all have to excuse me for a second. I got a lot of little stuff going on in the house. I'm trying to learn all this and use technology. How about that? Can y'all see me? Y'all can see me? And I can focus better. Okay, good. Now I know where the camera is. I had to get this in. Hold on. Y'all know Miss J by now. Oh, that's better, right? Great. Okay. So, with that being said, we're dealing with this household structure and what this would look like for aging parents or our aging grandparents or all of those that live in the opportunity to have to live with someone. And how do we put ourselves in the position to be able to take care of them? Our living structure situation is definitely influenced by gender and race. Older women are more likely to live alone than older men, and most cases of intergenerational households due to children moving in with an older parent. And so when we talk about intergenerational, I'm talking about you got adult kids and you got I got big hair today, don't I? Y'all got you got adult kids and you got your young kids living in the same household. I mean, you got adult parents and your young kids living in the same household. So that is essential and important, and that sometimes also can be very complicated. That's called a sandwich generation. And in a sandwich generation, a situation is created where individuals are experiencing being sandwiched or in between two generations. So that's definitely a factor. And it happens often, especially since we have people now who live who have had kids earlier or later, have older parents. It definitely can impact that. Geographic mobility. We've talked about geographic mobility before, which is the movement of the older people. The Sun Belt region, Hot Springs, Arkansas, is really essential and important to geographic mobility. People move to the south. It's a migratory system. They want to be where it's warmer, perhaps where it's cheaper to live. And so they make this transition so that they're able to have a higher quality life and, also able to age in place, which we know when an individual is aging in place, they're able to live in their own home, and they're able to maintain on themselves. And we found out that aging in place is very, very important to later life successes. If we can keep people out of nursing homes and we can keep people out of situations where they don't have to be in a systematic or a system type thing, nursing facility assisted, it would be really good. And the majority of most older adults do stay in their community. So we're seeing that, and we're seeing that work. Housing quality or housing is a problem, especially for older people with rental properties. Often they're taken advantage of. People don't keep up that property. They're not able to maintain that property. And so there's some other options for them to live. And we talked about this, single room occupancy hotels, which are SRRs. They are at the very bottom of the rental market. 50% of the homeless age is high of those who live on the streets. So trying to find adequate housing for people when they get older, especially for people who do not have kids, can potentially be a real serious issue. And so we're looking at that, trying to put that in place and decide what's the best housing process for older folks. And remember, in this project, you get to decide or look at housing as an option. And so we need to make sure that we understand what type of housing what type of congregate living, what type of situation, what type of household structure, what are people able to move into, what are people able to do, how are people able to accommodate themselves, how are the buildings made, all of those different things are important. Board and care homes, and I told you guys about that. Like, I really want to open up a series of board and care homes, provide meals assistance, daily activities, supportive living environment to people who cannot survive on their own. That's what a board and care home is. I told you the person will pay for like this particular room. It's really cool for people. They're usually very cheaper. Assisted living facility. This came in place. This came in place for the elderly. Assisted living facility was a philosophy that developed in the system or the continuum of services in long-term care. The ALFs or assisted living facilities were put in place to help residents achieve goals, provide meals, personal care, limited medical assistance, housekeeping, utilities, social activities, transportation, and also security, because security is very important for older adults. So that assisted living facilities are not nursing homes. So it would look like a nursing home, but it isn't a nursing home, and it will provide the things that I told you it will provide to those older adults. A number of studies have shown that ALFs are not permanent homes, but they're a step up in the continuum of care. So usually when people move into ALFs, that's not where their final stop is. Either their final stop is usually home, or their final stop may be a nursing home. And studies have shown that. Also, individuals that live with the dementia, usually they can't stay, or they don't stay well in an ALF. They need something with a little bit more intensive care. And that isn't, and ALFs don't provide it because they're not really being monitored. Another type of housing community are continuing care retirement communities. They actually grew out from religious groups for people who wanted to care for the clergy. The CCRCs are different. They provide like housing arrangements, services, independent living to assisted living, and other care. So a CCRC is like a continuum. You might have a nursing home right here. Davis Life Center is like that. You might have a nursing home. You may have an independent living facility. You may have some apartments, and then you may have skilled living care. That's what a CCRC is. So it's a whole lot of care in one place. And that works well for people who may have multiple parents in multiple positions, or people who want to be in a different environment. And then next we have what's called an independent living community. And an independent living community offers it's not like really the things that are provided in long-term care. It's like apartments for older people. My mother-in-law lives there. But they have activities like bingo and bridge. And what it is, it's really good for individuals who want to socialize, but who don't necessarily need all of the skilled care. So it helps solve that problem of loneliness within that. Within this, friendship networks are extremely important. Activities provide opportunities for residents of CCRCs to form friendships. Sometimes you can see a resident with low level of disability friend somebody with higher level disabilities. Sometimes it depends on whether or not what your marital status is, but it definitely helps to eliminate problems. And it also helps sometimes provide services. So you may not have a car, or you may not drive, but you find someone in the CCRC that does, and then that helps. That's that whole village approach. But also getting to eat with different people and doing different things helps with overall later life, helps with also overall later life satisfaction. So that's extremely, extremely important. Also, right now we're having some complications with the discrimination and against sexual minorities. So trying to develop communities that are gay, lesbian, and transgendered has been very difficult because a lot of people don't necessarily believe, support it. But probably within our future, that's going to definitely be necessary, having that community, and also deciding whether or not they can move into the community, and also making sure that a facility is not discriminating for the community. That's another problem or issue, but definitely finding out how do we place or deal with or make sure that these households, the household structure for living situations for the elderly have to change. Like we have to put lower counters in, water bathroom stalls, stoves are lower. Usually you will have fire extinguishers up to help put out fires, things to totally accommodate them, lower door handles, free of clutter, hardwood tile floors are much, much better than carpet. Those things totally accommodate them within the housing situation. Well, guess what? That's it. Chapter 9 was extremely short. Remember, we will be out of there. I will drop you a new video on Monday. Hope you guys are blessed and safe. Talk to you later.